Hey everybody, welcome back to Small Talk Japan. On this podcast, we talk about all things Japan in English. My name is Michi, and these are my two co-hosts.
Natsuki.
And Alex, hello.
All right, today we're going to talk about something that we've been trying to avoid recently because YouTube and Google have it in their algorithm that if you talk about this topic, they're going to downrank you on SEO, but we don't care. So here we go. How has Japan done during the pandemic thus far?
Which pandemic?
Not the one of 1917.
Yes. So the current one.
The current.
Colin one.
Actually, let's talk about that. Okay, so during the pandemic in 1970, which I don't know why you guys call it the Spanish cold.
Spanish flu.
They
Spanish
call it
flu.
they call it Spanish kaze.
Spain kaze.
Spain kaze.
Okay.
It's not a kaze, but whatever. That's when the mask wearing started in Japan initially.
Is it?
Yeah, when you go to Tokyo, you see all the business, like before this current pandemic, you see the businessmen wearing their like surgical masks and stuff like that. That all started in the 1917, 1918 with the Spanish flu. In Japan.
Really? I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
You can see these old illustrations of like the mothers putting masks on their kids and like them encouraging mask wearing.
Mm-hmm.
It's really interesting. And
Wow.
and just like peace when you take a photograph,
Yeah.
it just never went away from Japanese culture.
Where did that come from?
America.
Is it?
Peace in
Oh, hippie culture.
yeah. And then they just like it came to Japan and it just stayed here forever.
Well, I know.
Like Zima.
Zima.
Yeah, all of you guys back in America, Zima's a thing here. They still do it. In fact, there's Zima girls and they have a little Zima car.
I've never seen that, but
Well, you need to pay more attention.
yeah.
Dancing club if you go to.
All right, I'll go. Yeah.
They're like, it's like, you know the Red Bull girls in America? Where like, this kind of boom, keep boom thing. It's the same thing except there's Zima girls here in
Huh.
Japan.
I
Well.
like Jima.
So Zima died in the West and it's still living here. It's
I've
amazing.
never had Zima.
No?
I don't want to. So,
Why? It
Because-
tastes good.
It's like a cocktail cooler, right?
Yeah, that's exactly why I don't want it.
Well, let's just talk since this is going to be like the censored episode anyways. Let's just talk about, you know, you had a beer the other day. What was it called?
Super gay horse. That was good.
You upload it on Facebook.
I know, it was great. It was a good beer, that.
Was it IPA?
It was a hazy IPA.
It
So
was
it looked like
super-
orange juice. It's too hazy.
It looked like it was like seriously, he's like with no context. He just like uploads his Instagram. It's like super gay horse in a bottle. It's like okay,
It's
Yeah.
a Japanese beer.
No, Swedish.
Swedish.
of course
Yeah.
it's Swedish.
I like that. It was good though. It's all right. Yeah, I'll buy it again.
So let's go back to the more ominous topic that we wanted to talk about today, which is the coronavirus in Japan. Let's start off with what happened in the initial, I don't want to say actually non-panic. I would say it was a complete non-panic when it first happened.
Yeah.
Back in I think February of last year is when we had the Diamond Princess, which was the cruise ship that was docked off the coast of Yokohama. If I got any of this wrong, I'm sorry. Leave me a comment. I'm pretty sure it was off there.
Yeah, it
It's
was,
just basically like a Corona cruise ship.
Yeah.
Mm.
That actually came to Kagoshima before it went to Yokohama as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Didn't some guy come to Kagoshima, like hang out on the Osumi side, and then he tested positive like shortly thereafter?
I don't know about that. I don't think there were any cases out of that particular visit.
Yeah.
It all happened when it got to Yokohama.
Yeah.
But, the ship did come here before it went up there.
So the ship basically sat undocked forever, and like no one would give it a home because they're like, no, you have the plague, go away.
yeah.
And eventually, I think the previous prime minister like decided that they should let the people stay here. And then from that was not the first cases of corona. They had corona, I think, before from the planes and everything, like traveling from back and forth from China into Tokyo and things like that. But I think that's when we start to see like surging cases in the more northern and urban areas like Tokyo and stuff like that.
Mm.
So then the previous prime minister, he decided to lock down the schools of all things, not business, not like inter-country travel or anything. They locked down the schools.
All over Japan.
Yeah, around Golden Week last year.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
right? And then they shut down immigration into the country. And I think that's where this whole kind of like, that's where Japan had their chance. That if we were going to solve the pandemic, kind of like New Zealand did, or like, other countries, that would have been their chance. But then what happened? So we had the shutdowns. The kids like weren't going to school, and then
What happened after that? I've forgotten.
Yeah, I forgot.
So
too.
long ago.
Mm.
and then everybody went back to going, oh, we're cool because the emergency
yeah.
period's over. All back to normalsies.
Oh yeah, then we had a travel campaign.
Go to travel ね。
And then they're like, the previous prime minister was like, hey, everybody, let's have the go-to travel campaign. Alex, since, this is your forte, what was the go-to travel campaign?
So it was a subsidy from the government to go to travel. So you could get a discount. You could get coupons to use in the destination as well. So it was quite a big saving, really.
So, for example, here, like if you gave them like $100, they'd give you a voucher to spend at their local restaurants and stuff like that for like $120. It's like 20% off.
Yeah,
Go to eat でしょそれ。
That's go to eat, but go to travel and go to eat is like all rolled together. And go to travel was like a lot of places took advantage of the subsidies on their end, so you didn't have to do anything.
yeah,
But like airfare and hotels were like 60 or 70% off in some places.
yeah.
And so I mean, like myself and Josh, we traveled for business, and I don't even think we spent money. It was just like it was like free.
Yeah. No, I used it once to go to Shikoku,
Yeah.
and I got about 70,000 yen in vouchers
Yeah.
just for that. So I didn't spend any money at all. But so I mean, at one point it seemed as if it was okay for people to move around.
Well, because the government was
You know.
pretending like it was okay.
Yeah, there is that as well, I suppose. But having said that, though, regional cases of COVID didn't explode like Tokyo, I don't think, which is kind of weird.
Now, I'm gonna press you on this one because when you say regional cases, you mean regional detected cases.
That's true. That is true, because there's hardly any testing,
There-
even now. You know what I mean?
So last year, so the 2020 Olympics, it's so sad when you see the taxis, it says 2020 Olympics still on them, like they haven't ripped off the 0 and put 1 yet.
Yeah.
But anyway, so last year in 2020, we were supposed to have the Olympics in Tokyo, which by the way was a huge get for Japan. They had the omotenashi campaign and everything.
Yeah.
And it was a huge get. It was going to be like this big thing that was going to happen in Tokyo. But then, Abe, the previous prime minister, didn't want to let go of his precious Olympics. This is really what I think it is. And so they didn't want to cancel it, which there's a lot of pressure from other countries and business and things like that to have the Olympics. So they didn't test everybody for corona like in China. They just like went through the towns and just tested everybody. And if you were sick, they I don't know, they put you in a hospital and then made you wait 2 weeks or something. I don't know. But they like that's how they got it under control in China. They tested like 3 million people in Wuhan in like a day. In Japan, they're like, well, we'll wait until you really are sick, and then we'll cluster bust you, which means they'll contact trace you and just test those people. Not if you want to test. Like if we want to test, we go to the government and we say, can I have a test? They'll say no.
Yeah, well, I actually tried to get one for somebody, a family member, about 2 or 3 days ago, and phoned up the, Hokenjo, the kind of health agency or whatever.
Yeah.
And they went, oh, sorry, we can't help you with that. If you want to go to one of these registered clinics, you can go and buy a test.
And they're like hundreds of dollars for one.
Yeah, it's about $150, $160, I think it would be in the States.
Expensive one.
And that's just for one test, So if I wanted to test everybody else, like 4 people, for example, you're talking
Like $1,000.
Yeah, $1,000 just to...
So it's not, that's a PCR test. And then there's other tests out there that are not as accurate. They're slightly less accurate. For example, there's an antigen test, which I have bought in mass online. And I test myself twice a week just to make sure for my own, because I do meet people for business and things like that. And so it's just, for me, it's just like for my own, peace of mind and protection. But if I wanted to go to the government, like in America, like you go to Walgreens or something, you get a test. It's not that hard. Maybe it wasn't the very beginning of the pandemic, but here we are, year plus in. If you want a test, you can't get a test.
The strange thing is, though, for me, from the start of this onwards, apart from work closing down, because obviously being in the tourism-related business, there's no tourism, so...
Not only that, but
can't
everybody,
open.
in the beginning, everybody didn't know what was happening.
That's true, yeah.
Right, with the big question, and now we kind of figured it out, but like back then, it was panic, right?
Yeah. But, I mean, my life hasn't really changed that much, to be honest with you.
I think
it's reasonable.
It will detect if you're symptomatic and you are expressing a fever. But
Yeah.
aside from that, that's the only thing it's good for.
But, I mean, talking to my family back in the UK, it's like, oh, my dad's going, oh, I'd love to go to a cafe, and just go and have a coffee
I see.
somewhere. and it's like a different world. People here don't get it. Like people in other countries are like hard locked down.
Yeah.
They can't go out to a restaurant. They can't go out and get lunch. I think there's a real lack of awareness.
I want to say before we continue that I don't want to shit on the Japanese response as an American, because I think the American response is worse than the Japanese response, especially initially with Trump being a moron and like them going, oh, it's a China flu, fucking idiot. And so like, in the beginning, America did not take the pandemic seriously at all. And so you saw the amount of people, I think like one in 6 people who died of COVID that recorded has died in America, or some crazy statistic like that. So I don't want to shit on Japan as an American. I want to shit on Japan as somebody who's living here, as somebody who is part of Japanese society and understands that Japan, the people here are very rule abiding. We follow rules here. And if they wanted to get rid of COVID, at least in the lockdown, like completely get cases to zero and get it under control like New Zealand did, I think that they could have. But they missed their opportunity because, again, I think they were trying to go Olympics, pandemic, and like this was the problem.
I think that was the key part of it. As you said, Japanese people do follow the rules.
Absolutely.
Right? When mask wearing became compulsory, almost there's no law against it. You're not legally obliged to wear a mask.
Yeah.
But people do it anyway.
Before they even had on like. Now they're like, sanmitsu, don't go to crowded places, don't drink with a lot of people, that kind of thing. Like before we had any of that, Japanese people were absolutely by themselves wearing masks, doing alcohol spray and taking temperatures. This is like, they're very mature about the whole thing.
The one thing I will say about mask wearing here is that you see two things, right? One of them is this, like that.
Well, come on, you see that everywhere.
And another one is like down here.
The chin bra.
Yeah.
Chin
and
bra.
It's like, people use it as if it's like a lucky charm, like a magical amulet on your face.
A magical amulet.
That's going to stop you getting COVID. You need to cover up the
part that's spraying.
Yeah, the spray gun.
So going from last spring all the way through the summer, I still feel like most places, even Tokyo, didn't feel life changed too much.
Nah.
If you compare it to like people in North America or Europe where they had like hard lockdowns where people were just sitting inside their house like with nothing to do for months on end, that did not happen to us. But we were very strongly encouraged, especially in the autumn and winter time of last year, to stay home and not go out. And then that's when you started seeing all these really good restaurants in Japan go under.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. And so it has had an effect. There's no effect, but it's weird because it's like I felt if it got really bad in the beginning, I think it would have been taken more seriously and then like been fixed by now.
Yeah.
But because it's just kind of been this ever nagging annoyance in the background.
Well, it's never gotten super bad, really. Here.
Right. Not where we are.
Not where we are. And even
in Tokyo, it's not that bad.
Yeah. I mean, think about the population of Tokyo. And today, I think it was 800 and something cases.
But versus 3 million people, 13 million people.
It's not a lot.
No.
But then again, how many tests were done to get that 800 people out?
The numbers that we can't trust them because there's a lot of people out there who are asymptomatic who want to get tested, but the government won't test them. So we don't actually know the true numbers.
Yeah.
We don't.
So now, I mean, they've just started, tomorrow it's going to start again, state of emergency. So Tokyo, Kyoto, Osaka, and
Hyogo.
Yeah. So those 4 regions are going to go to the state of emergency. But even that isn't a legal, compulsion. There's no penalty.
In the Constitution of Japan, there's no legal precedent to lock down. You can't actually lock down the country. And so the only thing that they can do is strongly recommend that people follow the state of emergency. And that's the thing about Japan is there's such a high level of compliance here that people do it.
Not everybody though. So I went to Tokyo a couple of weeks ago, maybe it was a month ago or so, for business.
Yeah.
So I did all the double mask, the alcohol spray every 2 minutes on my hands, social distancing. Tried not to ride the train, got taxis when I could, and did all that stuff. And even at night time on the way back to the hotel, you get past 9 o'clock. Most places closed, but there are places going on till late at night, just completely ignoring it. And one other thing I noticed was in some of the kind of more popular drinking areas, They've actually just switched to drinking in the afternoon instead of the evening. So
So
Saturday afternoon, everybody's outside.
which
drinking, right,
the virus doesn't care if you get it in the afternoon or the evening.
That's what I don't understand about this 9 p.m. curfew. I mean, I do understand as people get drunk at night, they're going to talk louder and it's going to spread it more. But
The reason why they do that is because in Japan they have the kabakura, the hostess culture, and those girls start work after 9 p.m. And so if they cut it at 9 p.m. and they say everybody go home at this point, then all of those hostess bars don't have customers. And the reason why they want to do that is because if you have the system that those places operate under is you have like the one girl or several girls who are meeting scores and scores and scores of customers every single day and drinking with them. So they basically become the incubators of the virus, who then in turn spread it to all of the customers who come to their bar.
it's like a super spreader situation.
It's a super spreader
going on, you know
situation.
what I mean?
And instead of attacking them directly and say all these hostess places close, which I think the government should do that plus compensate them.
Yeah.
Like, please close and we'll give you money to close, right? Instead of doing that, they make these like Homari rules, these like beating around the bush rules. They're like, okay, everything needs to close by 9 p.m. because for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Why can't we do that? Because we have no money?
No,
to
because
support them?
because there's the politicians are just morons. If you think about this, if you PCR test every person in the country, that would have been cheaper than that $1,000 that they gave to everybody in the beginning of the pandemic. Do you remember that? Do you remember the stimulus? Everybody got Jumayen.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah.
Right? Remember
Yeah.
that? Everybody got Jumayen. How much does it cost a PCR test a person? It's like Ichiman Gosen or something. It's like $150. But after they screwed everything up and the country went into lockdown, then they gave everybody $1,000. And then what did they do? They started spending crazy amounts of money on all these things to keep all these businesses afloat during the pandemic. It would be so much easier just to test everybody and isolate those people who come up positive. But they haven't done it because they don't want to have their numbers high, because if they have high numbers and they don't get the Olympics, and they keep thinking about the Olympics.
Yeah. I mean, the Olympics is still a big question mark now. You know what I mean? It's like, to me, it looks increasingly unlikely that you're going to get athletes from a number of different countries
Yeah.
who've been tested, vaccinated, and all cleared basically coming into Japan. How are you going to monitor that? What's the logistical solution?
Foreign media is reporting on the volunteers for the Olympics, saying that they basically had a meeting, and they're like, okay, you guys are the volunteers. Good job, everybody. By the way, we know that you're not vaccinated because none of the volunteers for the Olympics are vaccinated. They're like, good luck.
Yeah.
And all the volunteers are like, well, we didn't sign up to die.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, the Olympic torch relay now is still kind of going on,
Yeah.
but lots of people are dropping out of it.
Yeah.
So lots of celebrities have said they don't want to do it. Some regions have said, don't come to our region. So Osaka said, don't come in.
Yeah.
So, this like persistent, pushing on of this event, regardless of the current international situation. The Olympics isn't just about Japan, it's about the whole
The whole world.
world participating in minor sports that nobody cares about. So
You keep saying that. You keep
is that
saying
harsh?
that.
Is that too harsh?
Well, no, it's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
You're
but
just being super British about
apart
it.
from running and swimming, everybody likes those. But
And skating, ice skating.
but shooting, curling,
The Winter Olympics.
yeah.
Whatever. Yeah.
I don't know. I've never watched it, so I don't know.
The only time I've said this before. The only time I ever watch the Olympics is when I'm in a bar,
Yeah.
and all the people are like, "Oh yeah, go Japan," and I'm like, "America."
So you
'cause I-
definitely not watching it this time then. Yeah. Yeah, what Olympic events are there? Oh, Josh has just brought them all up.
Just got, let's see what kind of this is.
Artistic swimming.
What
I
is
mean,
it?
that's something that I watch on a regular basis. So, you know what I mean? I don't want
What
to
do
take
you
Keep going,
mean?
keep going. What? 3-on-3 basketball, golf. Okay, I can see golf.
Yeah.
Equestrian. It just says equestrian.
Equestrian. Skateboarding's a sport now.
Shrek.
Yeah.
What does that say? I can't read it. Taekwondo. Oh, never mind.
Taekwondo. Trampoline gymnastics.
Water polo. Okay.
See, if I was going to be an athlete, I'd choose a sport that nobody else does.
So you're like the best at it.
To be the best. And then get nationality in a country that nobody can do that sport in. I mean, there must be so many ways to get in there.
Yeah, I would comment about a certain local celebrity in Japan, but I'm not gonna say anything about her. So you said it. Okay, vaccination.
Yeah.
Right. Let's talk about that now that we have a new Prime Minister, Mr. Suga. And by the way, I don't want to come off as anti-Japanese. I'm not. I'm anti all politicians. I'm mostly pretty negative about politicians in general. So don't think I'm being anti-Japanese. I love Japan. That's why we're talking about this, because we love Japan. Okay. Let's get to Suga. I think Suga he was dealt a really bad hand. Like the situation that was passed on to him from his predecessor was a pretty shit situation.
Yeah.
So he's got to deal with like this ongoing pandemic, everybody wanting the international pressure to do the Olympics in 2021. Local population doesn't want the Olympics in 2021. Most Japanese people don't want it to happen.
Yeah.
Especially people in Tokyo don't want it to happen. And at the same time, he's got this like regulatory bullshit that he had to deal with to get the Pfizer vaccine approved in Japan months after it was approved everywhere else. And they didn't buy it. All the other countries pre-ordered and bought the vaccines, and they were late to approve it, and then they didn't buy it.
I thought they bought it in advance.
They bid on them, but they didn't actually secure them.
Oh, okay, right.
And it's because like Pfizer couldn't ship them while they were still under review.
Okay,
is what I understand.
Right.
And so they're of the G7, the big 7 nations. Japan has the lowest vaccination rate, and I think I was just looking at it now. It's like less than 1% have had one jab. Less than 1%.
That sucks. I did see a news story the other day where some vaccines were being thrown away because people made an appointment to go and get vaccinated, elderly people or whatever, within the certain bracket that can do it. And they went there, and because you have to use one bottle for several jabs, right?
Yeah.
The bottle's already open. Somebody didn't turn up for their appointment.
They just threw them away.
They just chucked it.
Just fucking look at the person inside.
Just go vaccinate any old person.
Yeah.
Just grab a child and give it to them.
I don't know how things are in Europe, but my friends on Facebook in America are posting like, "Oh, I got my second shot. I'm so glad for this to be over." And I'm like, "Well, I don't know a single person around me who's been vaccinated. Not a single person.
I don't know anybody who's been tested."
I know some who are working for hospitals, like doctors, nurse.
So I have a lot of doctor friends, and none of them are vaccinated. None of them.
Even
You can't drop names,
Okay.
dude.
Okay.
It's a live episode.
Oh my god.
Silly.
Sorry.
Anyway, no, all the doctors around me, I haven't met one who's vaccinated. They're all like, we're excited for it, we're waiting for it, and they want everybody to get vaccinated when it's their turn, but nobody's being vaccinated because they like. I looked at the numbers. It's published on the government's webpage, like every single day, how many people they've vaccinated. I put those numbers into Excel and made a graph. The graph went like this and started going back down. They were vaccinating less people as time went on. Then it's like frustrating.
Yeah.
And the country has the money. They have the connections to do what they need to do. They're just not doing it.
Yeah. No, it's an irritating situation. I mean, Japan's done some things right. You know what I mean? Like
they've done a lot of things right because the people of Japan were doing the right things. Yeah. But not the government.
But see, the leadership doesn't make clear decisions and then communicate them clearly. And also, there's a lot of control in the prefectures as well.
There have been a lot of prefectures who've done a great job.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest about that.
But that power structure delegating from central government to prefectural level to make decisions is irresponsible, I think. It should be a country level decision.
For this one, yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, I don't see why they have to delegate the power out like that. It doesn't make sense.
We also have like a situation where like, there depending on where you live, okay, there are I don't want to say where I went, but I went to a kind of a very like a countryside island, right? During the pandemic. And it was like everybody there was just like, oh, the pandemic is like a problem in Tokyo. It doesn't affect us. I'm like, you have people coming in from Tokyo to visit your island. Like, don't you think that the problem in Tokyo would just come to be your problem as well? And so no one was masked on this island. Everybody was just like acting like it was just like nothing.
Really?
Yeah. And everybody was like, oh, it's totally fine. What are you doing? I'm like, okay. And then after we left, there was like a cluster there, like a few following weeks later. It's, yeah, and it's frustrating. It's frustrating because I think of all the countries in the world, the country that could have gotten rid of the pandemic in the very beginning and it just been like normal, like peaceful, like everyday life would have been this country.
Yeah.
Because like I said, Japanese people follow rules and they care about each other.
Mind you, the death rate here is kind of low as well.
Very low.
Comparatively. Why is that though?
They're healthy?
Possible, yeah. Active senior population.
There's 3 reasons for it, right? That they've put forward. One is that the senior population tends to be healthier in Japan. The second one is I keep always forgetting the name of this, the G something vaccine that you guys get for tuberculosis. BCG.
Yeah.
They think that there's some sort of relationship between BCG inoculations and like resilience to the coronavirus.
I've got that.
Do you have it?
Yeah, I think so. What's that one? I've got
like
a thing on my arm.
All the little dots. You got it too, right, Natsuki?
Here,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
It's like my gang affiliation.
Your gang affiliation.
BCG gang. Throw your BCG. I can't do it.
I don't have it because Americans, we don't get it when we're kids. And so anyway, so the two things, like a healthier population, the BCG vaccine, and also the variants that have been infecting people were the original weaker variants,
Right, yeah.
supposedly.
Yeah. But now they call it Igirisugata, so that
It was, and I always have to. I employ English people, so when we talk about it,
Yeah.
I say it was first detected in England. It doesn't mean it came from England, but the English variant. I always have to say it like that.
Or on the news now, they also say the number for it, so N7, whatever it is.
That's good.
Yeah, but the Indian one as well has come here as well, apparently.
Yeah.
And we don't hug and we don't kiss. In
That's
their
also, I mean, like if you're all things, I don't know, maybe it's like a little like stereotypical, but if you go to like Italy, everybody's touching each other, multi-generations in the same home.
Yeah.
You know, that's just like a really easy way for this kind of virus to spread. But in Japan, it's like bow from 6 feet away. You know?
Yeah. Even at home, husband and wife don't touch each other.
There have been cases, you're not even, this is not a joke, but there have been cases where the husband got it and he's like living at home for like 4 or 5 days. And then like they test the family members and no one's got it. I'm like, the father is just not loved by anybody. He hasn't touched anybody.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Like, dude, come on.
Yeah.
So weird. Let's make predictions, okay? I don't want to be negative about this because I've been trying to be as positive as possible. I trusted Suga when he said that everybody would be vaccinated by June. It's going to be May soon. Like, they haven't even got doctors and medical professionals vaccinated. I just don't have a lot of like faith in that.
Yeah.
But let's stay positive and make predictions for the future. Alex.
Tough one, isn't it? I don't know, man. I guess vaccination rollout's going to have to start soon. So I think they said September is when everybody's going to get the first jab.
September.
Is when they will have given it to everybody. Is what they were saying.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's accurate or not. It ain't going to happen by June.
No way.
You know. The Olympics, who knows? I mean, it depends if another country pulls out. So North Korea pulled out,
Yeah.
but who cares about that?
Oh.
It's like,
Let's just shit on everybody.
fuck North Korea.
Well,
What are they good at anyway? I don't
what
know.
are they good at anyway?
This is live show, right?
Yeah,
It is
missile
live.
building.
Oh God. Alex.
Gonna shoot
Are
a
we
missile.
Okay, so no North Korea. No North Korea.
Sorry, DPRK or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Oh my God.
Well, I mean, I was shitting on Russians the other day, so I can't say anything.
yeah, but they deserve shitting on launching rockets everywhere.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, so they're not coming. So yeah, boo-hoo. If another country pulls out, it might cause a problem.
I think if
'cause
anybody
then-
from the G8 pulls out, it's done.
yeah, they're probably done then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think it's going to happen?
Probably, yeah. I
Really?
don't think the Olympics are gonna happen.
Really?
No, I think it's
Oh.
gonna happen. I think again, I think that we lost the chance because I think it's one of those situations where you were trying so hard to keep it. We're trying so hard to keep it that we're gonna lose it.
But next week we are going to have our torch marathon in our country. I mean, Kagoshima here. Torch marathon.
Oh, the Olympic relay thing.
That's gonna be amazing. You know, they needed to start shipping in the people to the Olympic Village now for everything to work out.
Well,
They're
the
not
athletes
doing it.
need to acclimatize as well, right?
That's what I'm saying.
When
It
come
needs,
here.
it needs to happen now.
So I've never seen any information about how they're going to get these athletes.
They don't know. They're still everybody involved in the process is like, we don't know. So I mean, the only way that the Olympics actually happens is if they push it back to September.
They're not going to push it back, though. They said.
Oh,
Who knows?
I mean, what are they gonna do?
Do it all online. Do it on Zoom. Zoom Olympics. What you could do is say anybody can join in. Just do it in your home. As much as you can. Run around the living room or something. I don't
You're
know.
so stupid.
And then, yeah.
This year, one of the marathons in Japan went online, and so they basically said like you can run the marathon anywhere in the world and just have this app running in the background.
Yeah.
And after you've got to like 41 point whatever kilometers it is, we'll just give you the award for running our marathon.
Yes, Apple fucking iPhone does that already. If you run enough, you get a medal. Well done.
Your iWatch is telling you, good job.
Yeah.
You stood up 15 times today.
I know I've got mine on now. It tells me to stand up. It's like, how patronizing can you get? Come on. And then when you stand up, it goes, well done. You done good. So thanks, Apple. That's why they got a Genius Bar, because we're all fucking idiots.
Yeah,
That's why,
dude.
you know what I
The
mean?
other thing about the
Jesus
Apple Watch is
Christ.
like they're researching to figure out if they can use it to detect COVID-19.
Oh, really?
They're like, yeah, there's like they haven't like made it live yet, but there's like a certain percentage amount of like certainty that they can say, oh, you probably have the virus, go get checked.
But now in the new beta, you can unlock your phone with a face mask on if you've got your Apple Watch on.
Yeah,
apparently.
which is great. It's a
Does it
pandemic
work?
update.
No, it doesn't work.
That's okay. My shit
Christ.
unlocks when I have a mask on, even though like it's totally like sometimes I'll just look at it and it'll unlock. I'm like, I'm wearing a mask. That's not cool.
Yeah,
Like,
security.
Natsuki, what do you think? Are the Olympics gonna happen?
I hope so.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Do you actually want it to happen?
Yeah, because we have been, get ready for a long time.
What have
Yeah.
you done to get ready for the Olympics? You haven't done anything.
I support Prime Minister Suga.
No. So that's the thing is, I want
Yeah.
to see the.
He looks sad.
so
recently.
that's the thing. So I want to support the leadership to do the right thing and for everything to be better. I'm rooting for the success of this country because everything of my life is in this country. That's why I get so angry and frustrated when I see politicians doing stupid things. But like I said with Suga's just one man, and he
Yeah.
has such a difficult situation. I really do. I don't feel sorry for him because he accepted the position,
yeah,
but I
feel
do.
sorry for him.
Sympathize, right?
I don't feel sorry for him, but I do think it's a difficult situation.
Yeah.
So I hope him the best. I hope he does the best that he can, and so us as well.
Yeah. Well, the Olympics, eh? Well, Japan's not getting a golden vaccination, that's for sure.
I better shut down the show before Alex says anything else. It's live.
Oh my
Is that we're
God.
live? Oh,
Are
God.
there any comments? Are there people angry at us? I hope not. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
I hope
Remember, guys. When we do these live shows, not only is Alex like off, like dude, when we do the tape shows, you don't even do this.
No, I think I've got like a mild form of Tourette's or something that just comes out when, I've got an audience. Or not.
Any guys, if you guys have any comments or questions or whatever, or maybe if you disagree with us, leave us a comment in the comment section below. That's been it for us today. This will be our most downranked video from Google because we just said all the words that they don't like.
Yeah. Give it a couple of COVIDs on the end there. COVID.
I'm gonna finish with saying that if you are in
COVID.
Japan and we're still in this pandemic, please keep be resilient, keep doing the sanmitsu and your face mask wearing and everything. Let's be as vigilant as we possibly can.
Stay safe.
Stay safe.
Mm.
Stay away from elderly people in general. This is what I do. I mean for the pandemic.
Oh,
right?
for the safety aspect. I thought you just meant just don't go near old people. Screw those old people, man.
No, I specifically have not been meeting elderly people because I just feel like I'm a danger to them,
Yeah.
And anyway, we can do what we can before we get vaccinated, and I'll
True.
I hope everything gets better, and I do hope that the Olympics happen without a hitch, no problems. But
When it's supposed to be start?
I think
August?
it's
July?
July,
June?
maybe.
June, July. It's until August because there's like a media thing in Tokyo as well in August.
July
So it's gonna
23rd.
Go through to then.
July 23rd.
It's from Josh's birthday. Josh, we're gonna find out what kind of birthday you're gonna have this year.
Yeah.
It's either gonna be amazing or it's gonna be complete crap.
Well, I'm all for the Zoom Olympics. We make a team here.
Make
Zoo
a team
Olympics.
here.
Small talk team.
Small talk to you. All right, guys, that's been our show today. Thank you so much for watching. If you have questions or comments, leave it in the comment section
that was
below.
funny.
Better close this down before Alex says anything more. See you guys later. Bye.
Bye. Sorry, North Korea. Bye.
Hey everyone, Josh here. Thanks for watching this week's episode of Small Talk Japan. Small Talk Japan was filmed and recorded in Kagoshima at Story Studios. This week's episode stars Michi, Natsuki, and Alex, and is produced by me, Josh, and is executive produced by Michi. Hair services provided by Drops Hair Tenmonkan. This week's episode is sponsored by Stapleton A. Kaiwa. Leave a comment below and let us know what you think of the show. Thanks again for watching, and if you enjoyed the show, click here to subscribe and click here to watch more. See you next time!